Welcome back to the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about some regional variants that I think could be pretty radical to see in the Indigo disc. I'm very sorry I just used the term radical. No, you know what? It applies here. Radical. We're bringing that back. Hashtag radical in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. We already did this for the Teal Mask regional variants for it. Now we're going to do it with the Indigo disc. And first, we're going to talk about a Pokemon that I would love to see get a variant, and that is the Snorunt line. Now, look, the Snorunt line, I think, gets a bad rep because Glalie is not great. It's not great. The ice typing in general is not great. So what would make Snorunt good? Well, not having the ice typing. So I say make it a water type, and kind of, Snorunt is like a little, a little person, really. So make him like a little water person. Then, when he evolves into Glalie, make Glalie, all filled with rocks and coral and stuff, and, maybe even give him, like, a bubble-like feature. And then, obviously, for an ability, you make Glalie have Water Bubble, which is a pretty good ability, in my opinion. So it'd be pure water type for Snorunt and Glalie. Now, we gotta talk about Froslass, though, because Froslass would obviously be here, too. Now, I say make a Water Ghost Froslass, and base it off, and forgive me here, because I'm pronouncing something that, I do not speak the language of, and that is La Llorona, or La Llorona. I'm not sure, because there's two L's, so I'm not sure if that would be silent or not. But La Llorona, as I'm going to say. And what this is like a terrifying ghost woman in Spanish culture, and like in any Spanish-speaking country, really. Like, they talk about in Spain, they talk about in Mexico, they talk about it in other parts of Central South America. I mean, it's a big deal. Now, best that I can find for us Americans who, do not know what, La Llorona is, the best that I can compare it to is it is like the Spanish version of Bloody Mary. I don't know if that was just me as a kid, but let me know if y'all remember this in the comments. As a kid, there was this whole, thing where people said if you would go into your bathroom and do all these things, the stories varied. Some it was just simply saying it 3 times. Some you had to, light candles and do all this, pagan ritual crap. Just all these different things. You would basically be able to see the ghost of Bloody Mary in, the mirror of your bathroom, or, in the bathroom with you, and sometimes I think it was, or you'll even get attacked by her. Lots of variations of the story, because, it was just, a thing that was passed around to scare people. La Llorona is a lot like that, in terms of just it being so well-known and freaking terrifying to children especially. That's kind of what La Llorona is, best that I can find. She's often depicted as being found near water. I believe she, lost her husband is the story, and I'm so nervous I'm gonna screw this up, because I know this is a pretty big deal in those cultures. So, if you want to correct me and give the full debrief of her in the comments below, be sure to do that, because everything I've seen, have been conflicting reports of, what she is, what she does, all that. But, most of what I've seen is, she is a woman that, wants to take the life of happy people because she's unhappy, basically. So, she's typically found near water, rivers, lakes, and stuff. So, that's kind of where I'm getting this Froslass being water type from it. So, yeah, I say Water Ghost based off of La Llorona. And you may say, whoa, La Llorona be a little too scary to do for kids. But for the record, what Froslass is based off of right now is too scary to do for kids. So, La Llorona. A great ability would obviously be Curse Body. Shadow Tag could also be interesting. You could even, I don't know, give it some kind of ability that benefits it when it's near water. I don't know, maybe Swift Swim, Hydration, or even a variant of it that's brand new that maybe boosts its special attack in, the rain. I don't know, things like that. Moving into our next one, we have a Pokemon that I really think needs some love because it's a really cool design, but just not a good mon, and that is the Magcargo line. Now, Magcargo is already very, very heavily inspired by volcanoes. You know, it's got the whole hardened lava on its back as its shell. It itself is lava. So I say we just go a little bit of a different route with this and kind of base it off of or around underwater volcanoes and even hydrothermal vents. I had to remember the name there for a second. You know, the Indigo Disc is set in the Buneary Academy, which is an academy primarily found underwater. We even see that some of the returning Pokemon, or one of the returning Pokemon, is Dugong. So there's a lot to imply that we'll be exploring a lot of the ocean in this DLC. And so I think it'll be cool to kind of have like an underwater volcano hydrothermal vents area, and there's Magcargo there, but it's now got this new form. Obviously, because we're taking volcanoes and mixing it with the ocean, it has to be water fire. It absolutely has to be. Now, for an ability, I think what would be really, really cool is to give Magcargo either adaptability or a brand new ability that funny story about me conceptualizing this. I actually came up with a new ability for it and then was like, what would be a good name for this ability? Adaptability. Nope, that's already a name, but that'd work too. So that's why I'm saying adaptability. But the new ability I've come up with, I just decided to call it diverse. And what this would allow Magcargo to do is get a speed boost, a special attack boost, not both, but one or the other, or maybe even a physical attack boost, I don't know, but some kind of stat boost, some kind of benefit in the sun and in the rain. So it would allow Magcargo to benefit from both the sun and the rain. I think that would be really cool because it's the fire-water typing. Fire benefits from the sun, water benefits from the rain. It could even just be a simple ability that just says Magcargo's water moves cannot be lowered by sun, and its fire moves cannot be lowered by rain, so that Magcargo can operate in both. I think that would be a way to make Magcargo very competitive, you know, with a very unique typing that's only shared with Volcanium, which is a mythical, so it's pretty hard to come by, and also with an ability that allows it to take advantage of two different types of weather, two polar opposite types of weather, mind you. Now, next up, we have Buneary and Lopunny. This is kind of a no-brainer. Pokemon loves to do Ice-type regional variants. You know, you got a lot of Ice-type regional variants at Sun and Moon. You got them in Sword and Shield. We didn't get them in Scarlet and Violet. So for the DLC, they gotta give us our Ice-type variant in Buneary and Lopunny. Specifically, I think it should be Ice Fighting, excuse me, with these two. And base them off of, you could probably guess, Arctic hares. You know, they're RA rabbits, so just make them Arctic rabbits, you know? Now, I think a great ability for these would be, you could do something generic that already exists, like Snowcloak or Slush Rush. You know, Snowcloak, the whole reason Arctic hares are white is basically to blend in with the snow, so Snowcloak works really well for them. Slush Rush would be kind of a bit more of a, you know, kick to their viability. But I would also say, if we wanted to take advantage of that fighting typing in there, give it a new ability that honestly I think is a no-brainer ability. I don't know why it hasn't been a thing yet, but you could call it Strong Legs or something like that, and basically it would be an Iron Fist equivalent for kicking moves. So instead of boosting the power of Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, it would boost the power of things like Mega Kick, Blaze Kick, Triple Axle, those kinds of things. I think that could make Mega Lopunny a very scary Pokemon. That may sound even too competitive, but I think that's good for an Ice type, because Ice types, you know, they suffer so much unless they're paired with a really good typing. So I think this would allow Lopunny to get just what it needs to, even with the Ice fighting typing, be a powerhouse in the metagame. Now, next up, we have one that I think we've all been wanting for a really long time. There's fan variations of these all over the place, and that is, of course, the Kanto starters. Like I said before, the Indigo Disc is set at the Buneary Academy, and there's a lot of rumors really going around that maybe we could see some new kind of starters in this facility. You know, for one, it's a brand new school. You know, our school gave us Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. What would this school give its students? And then you have on top of that, if you look at the poster for Indigo Disc, you can see on one side is, you know, you, the protagonists from Scarlet and Violet, with Quaquaval, Skeledirge, and Meowscarada, obviously the starters from Scarlet and Violet. And on the other side, they've got the trainers from the Blueberry Academy, and you see the elements of fire, grass, and water over there, but you don't see any Pokemon. It looks like there's spaces for Pokemon. So this has led a lot of people to speculate there could be new starters of some kind that appears in this DLC. Now, I say what better way than to take starters we already know and love and give them forms. I mean, let's face it, it was going to happen at some point to the Kanto starters. I think it's a miracle that Samurott, Typhlosion, and Decidueye of all Pokemon got regional variants before Charizard did. But now I say it's time to give it to the Kanto starters, but make it a little bit more than Hisui. You know, Hisui, Rowlet, Oshawott, and Cyndaquil were still, you know, grass, water, fire. Like, they still kept their original elemental type and just gained a new type on top of that at the end of their lineage. Well, I say flip them around with the Kanto starter trio. Make Bulbasaur a fire, poison type Pokemon with a volcano on its back instead of the bulb. Now, the reason that a fire poison type will work really well is just because of the toxicity of the volcanic ash. Also, you could take the little spots on Bulbasaur and kind of make that like hardened pieces of lava on it. That would be kind of cool. Then you have Charmander, make it a water type, give it a fish tail, and when it evolves into Charizard, you could kind of make its wings more like flying fish wings. If you're familiar with those types of wings, I'll have a picture up so you can kind of see what I'm referencing here, and make it more scaly and everything. And then Squirtle, make it a grass type, and this time around, you know, we'll have our water flying Charizard and our fire poison Venusaur. Let's not make Blastoise pure grass like it was pure water in Gym 1. Let's give it an extra typing too, and I'd go with Grass Psychic. And my idea here is, you see those old turtles where they get like moss growing and algae growing all over them? It could be like that. It could be Blastoise will have moss growing just all over it, and just that kind of age I associate with like wisdom, especially in tortoises. They just look so wise, you know? So you have Blastoise kind of become very wise and sage-like, and so it gets psychic abilities. Now, for abilities for these Pokemon, I did come up with, you know, a couple ideas. First off, I imagine that their basic abilities would still be Blaze, Torrent, and Overgrow, just, you know, flopped around. So now Bulbasaur will have Blaze, Charmander will have Torrent, and Squirtle will have Overgrow. But I did come up with an idea for their hidden abilities. I have a non-broken option and a broken option. And the non-broken option are fun, but the broken option I would really, really like. With Bulbasaur, I said for its broken option, it could be Effect Spore, or its non-broken option, it could be Effect Spore or White Smoke. White Smoke would fit with the Volcano theme, but Effect Spore would work just because, you know, for one, it is like letting off like toxic gas and stuff, and it'll be kind of a way to reference the fact that Bulbasaur's original variant is a grass poison type, in a similar way to how past variants have gotten a kind of detail, like the Galarian birds have gotten signature moves that kind of reference their original form's typing, right? So they could do that, or again, they could just go with White Smoke. With the Charmander line, I was thinking for their hidden ability, you could do multi-scale, because if we're going to have a water flying Charizard, you know, that takes 4 times damage to electric moves. It's weak to rock, you know, so I say just, you know, let it have multi-scale so it can live that first hit at least. And then for Squirtle, I say give it synchronized to reference that psychic typing in it. You know, that way you paralyze it, you're getting paralyzed too. You burn it, you're getting burned too. All that fun stuff. Now we get to our broken options. So, you could give the fire poison Venusaur Drought. You could give the water flying Charizard Drizzle. And you could give the grass psychic type Blastoise either Grassy Surge or Psychic Surge to set up Grassy Terrain or Psychic Terrain. I would say Grassy Surge just so it's, you know, doing something for the grass typing, like Charizard's doing something for the water typing, and Venusaur is doing something for the fire typing. But either way, Psychic Surge would still give it that added benefit. Now, this would be insanely broken, but I think that would be pretty cool. You know, it'd be nice to have another Sun and Rain setter, and it'd be even cooler if that Sun and Rain setter was a Charizard and a Venusaur. But yeah, be sure to let me know your thoughts on these in the comments below. If these were real, which of these would be on your Indigo Disc team? If these were real also, which one would you pick? Because you'd only have a choice between Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle. You wouldn't be able to get all three, you know, in the game. You could by trade, but which of these three would be your starter choice? Which of these would you put on your team, including, you know, Snorunt, Magcargo, and Lopunny from earlier? And also be sure to give me your ideas for good regional variant forms that we could see in the Indigo Disc. Also be sure to hashtag Radical in the comments below. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss all of our future videos on this kind of stuff. I've got some really cool stuff coming. Got some more stuff on Indigo Disc Pokemon we could see and forms we could see. And then just cool theory videos, breakdowns, all kinds of stuff coming in the future. You don't want to miss that. So again, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And until next time, I will see all of you later.